Good morning, good evening, Megan Mitchell here, and I want to first off say that I super appreciate all of the positive feedback from the last video about waiting and about how waiting and how you wait matters. I do want to make one correction. I was giving some shout outs in the beginning of my last video to people who are doing great things, engaged and making videos, making content. And I mistakenly combined two names that didn't belong together. I was talking about making AI videos, and I mentioned, I was meaning to mention Brian Crowich, and I said Michael, which is not what I meant. So I apologize, Brian. I appreciate you. I also appreciate all of the people who are consistently commenting, watching my videos, sharing them. Manu, Jean, all of the people who comment, Shah, Nuez, there's so many that are commenting, Angie Lynn, and just the people who are being positive and staying on this journey in a productive way. But today, I want to talk about something that could be perceived as negative, but I think if you have a better way of dealing with it, or you put it in perspective, it becomes more of a positive. And this topic came up because of a conversation that I had with someone who is maybe avoiding making content or avoiding putting themselves out there for fear of backlash or for fear of criticism. And I want to talk a little bit about that and about the perspective that you should have and how you should deal with this criticism that we all get and anyone who puts themselves out there. I'll start off with a quote. Gossip is the tax you pay for being known. I think that's pretty true. If you are someone who takes that risk and puts themselves out there and, is on social media or anywhere on YouTube, you are going to receive criticism, whether that's criticism directly or whether that's criticism about what you're involved in, about this journey in Victory with Ash. I can only imagine the level of criticism, hate speech, and backlash that Ash has received throughout this entire journey. And you have to be pretty strong. You have to have a strong will, and you have to have self, confidence. You have to be able to put that criticism and those haters, you should say, in perspective. So let me get into it. Who are these people? And that's one of the things I think that we really need to put in perspective is who is the person behind the criticism or the comments. And when I talk about this, I'm not talking about family members or, because we get criticism from them as well, or from those closer to us. And that's a whole different topic. But I'm talking about mostly the people who are online, maybe hiding behind a computer screen, maybe you don't even know their name, or maybe you do, and they are criticizing you personally or what you are involved with. So strategies to manage this and to put this into perspective. First of all, recognize who they are. Understand that online people often act out of jealousy or their own issues. I think it's so important always to not see what's being said or who the person is at face value, but really think about what the underlying reason is that maybe they feel this way, or maybe they are projecting this. Their negativity is rarely about you, but a reflection of their own dissatisfaction. I love this quote, arrogance or noise is the camouflage of insecurity. And that's Tim Fargo who said that. So how can you respond to someone who is putting out negative comments, negative feedback on your content. First of all, you can respond with kindness. Sometimes responding with unexpected kindness can disarm haters and convert them into fans. People expect you to react dramatically. That's what they are expecting. So, sometimes responding with kindness is just what it takes to disarm that, that conflict. Number 2, the ignore strategy, or I would say the block and delete strategy. Sometimes this is honestly the best option. They may not even know why they do this. You've seen the people, kids today, the young people today call it rage baiting. And people do this because they're seeking a dopamine hit. Because negativity, no matter what the attention is, negativity is also a form of attention. So keep in mind that, you've heard people say, don't feed the trolls. And that's exactly what you should do, is not feed them. Behaviors are reinforced by attention. And a lot of times all it takes is for you not to respond or not to engage for them to go away. Emotional predators feed on reactions. Your composure is your weapon. I love that quote. I don't know who the author is, but your emotional composure is your weapon against emotional predators. Love that. So block, delete them. Don't engage, block or delete them. Create physical and mental distance. If you feel the negativity getting to you, step away. Step away from the electronics, step away from the screen or the device for a while. Obviously, if they are abusive or relentless, then that is a whole different story. I'm not saying that there's never a time when you should have a conversation, but going back and forth with someone online is never going to change their opinion. And honestly, most of the time, they probably don't even necessarily believe what they're saying. They are just looking for a reaction, whether that's from their own insecurities or whether that's from their own boredom. This is what they love to do. So that is the easiest way to deal with them. But I also want to talk about, in more of a positive aspect, how you can shift your perspective on what it means when you have people commenting negatively or engaging in a negative way with your content or with whatever you're doing. Shift and reframe the situation. All right, critics are often considered fans because of the intense focus, time, investment, and passionate feedback, even when negative. They're caring enough to engage, to analyze, and consume your work. If a person really doesn't care or doesn't agree with what you're doing or what you are involved in, they will simply walk away. And that's one of the things that in this journey in Victory with Ash and overall, people have the opportunity at any time to walk away and to go a different direction. If they truly don't believe or they truly don't like what we are doing, simply not giving it attention would be enough. The fact that they are consistently giving you attention confirms that you are in the arena, doing work worth noticing, whereas apathy would be a greater sign of insignificance. So if they were apathetic, then you could take that as a clue that you're not doing anything. Constructive feedback. While sometimes harsh, criticism can be a form of free, valuable analysis to help refine your work and improve, serving as a catalyst for growth. So you can look at their feedback. If it's not just hate speech or if it's not just rage baiting, you can look at it look for the little bit of truth. There's a little bit of truth in everything. So use it as fuel for growth. Criticism can be viewed as resistance meant to strengthen your resolve. How many of you feel like the more somebody comes up against you, the more strong your resolve is to see it through? So take that negative feedback and use it as fuel to push you forward. And then lastly, shift your focus to positive engagement. Focus on your purpose, your mission, and the positive feedback from real supporters like you guys, the ones who are commenting on my content and who are engaging. Those are the people to focus on. This is a perfect opportunity to refine your circle and really pour into your circle, really pour into the people who are on the journey with you. By remembering that online hate is often noise and not constructive, you can focus your energy on personal goals and positive community members. So, the big picture, if you are doing anything that is worthwhile, you are going to have people who do not like you. Consider that a sign that you are doing something positive. One of my favorite quotes is from Denzel Washington. I'll read that for you. You'll never be criticized by someone who is doing more than you. You'll always be criticized by someone doing less. Remember that. And then the last one is Aristotle. To avoid criticism, say nothing, do nothing, be nothing. You can't avoid criticism if you're putting yourself out there. And I think this is also relevant in the sense that we are in a period of silence, or what some people feel is silence from ash. And that's probably very intentional, because silence can't be misquoted. Ash has been misquoted, Ash has been criticized, Ash has been misrepresented throughout this journey. And so he is probably very intentionally at this moment remaining silent in order to protect the overall mission and the overall community that we have. Take that as wise. He's perhaps doing it on the recommendation of maybe legal teams. We don't know. I'll read something for you as the last thing I leave with you, and hopefully it's inspirational. You are not everyone's cup of tea. The world is filled with people who, no matter what you do, no matter what you try, will simply not like you. But the world is also filled with those who will love you fiercely. The ones who love you, they are your people. Don't waste your finite time and heart trying to convince people who aren't your people that you have value. They will miss it completely. They won't buy what you are selling. Don't try to convince them to walk on your path with you, because you will only waste your time and your emotional good health. You are not for them, and they are not for you. You are not their cup of tea, and they are not yours. Politely wave them along, and you move away as well. Seek to share your path with those who recognize and appreciate your gifts, who you are. Be who you are. You are not everyone's cup of tea, and that is okay. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Don't play it small so people won't criticize you. There's always going to be someone who criticizes you. I hope this helps you put negative feedback and the online trolls and people who criticize who you are and what you're doing. I hope this puts that into perspective and gives you the courage to keep moving forward and putting yourself out there. Have a blessed Thursday.